Today's video is a little bit different than what you would normally find on Living in Lakewood Ranch. We're going to cover the new condo rules that have been established by the Florida State Senate. And that bill is number 4D that has gone into effect after the Surfside condo collapse that happened last year in Miami. So if that's of interest to you, stick around because I have some very good information that's going to come up about what's going on in the condo market.
Don't buy real estate if you experience allergic reactions to happiness, satisfaction, pride, fulfillment, contentment. Stop buying real estate if you don't like community, a sea of belonging, a diversified portfolio. Buying real estate may cause you to shop at hardware stores, furniture stores, and design centers. See your realtor immediately if you experience any of these symptoms.
Hello, it's Mark Boehmig, Michael Saunders and Company, and then this channel, Living in Lakewood Ranch, we cover all the areas around Lakewood Ranch from Sarasota up to Bradenton and from Anna Maria Island down to Siesta Key. So remember to click that little subscribe button and ding that little bell if you'd like to get updates on this channel. So today's video is kind of a serious matter of what is going on in the condo market here in the state of Florida. Well, we have been introduced a new bill, and that bill is 4D. In that bill, I'm going to put a link to the description, or I'm going to put a link in the description below so that you can see the entire bill. I have it uploaded so that you can look at it and see what all it entails. But this is going to be a brief synopsis of what's going to happen here in the condo market, and maybe some things that you might want to be aware of if you've thought about buying a condo, if your family member has a condo, or if that's ever been in your future as far as living here in the state of Florida. So in Florida, we have over 1.5 million condominium properties, and about 912 of those condos are over 30 years old. So quite a bit of the condos here in Florida are older than 30 years. So that's going to have a significant impact in the things that we're going to talk about. So this is going to be broken down into 3 sections: milestones, structural inspections, and disclosures and documents. So in the first section, which is the milestones, they're going to have 2 phases. Phase 1 is going to be a professional visual inspection. Now this is going to have to be done by an architect or an engineer. And if you think about it, if we've got 1.5 million condos here and 912 of those are over 30 years, that's going to put quite an impact on that industry and how this is all going to play out. The second part of the milestone is phase 2, which is going to be a professional in-depth inspection, which is going to address the safety, the structure, the roofing, the plumbing, the rebar, all of those kind of things which goes to make a condo sturdy. The second part is who is going to be able to perform those inspections. Well, it's only going to be a Florida licensed architect or engineer. And right now, I just don't think, like I said, that we're going to have enough of those people to fulfill all those jobs by the deadline, which we're going to talk about. And number 3 is what buildings are affected. So these are going to be buildings that are 3 stories or more, and that will include complexes that only have 2 floors that are over a garage. So that would be a total of 3 floors on the condominium complex, so those will be affected even if there's a garage level on the first floor. So you can see over both of my shoulders we have 2 different complexes here. Both of those are over 3 floors, and those are going to be subject to these new rules that we're going to talk about. So like I said, age is going to matter. So 30 years or older must have phase 1 inspection. If it's 3 miles or closer to the coastline, then it has to be 25 years or older. So if it's within 3 miles of the coastline, it's 25 years, they're going to have an inspection. So the age is determined by the CO. So whenever the certificate of occupancy was originally ordered and took place for the completion of the development, that is going to be the age of the condominium complex. Now, condos that were built before July 2022 and under the control of the owners must register with the DBPR. That's the regulatory part of the state of Florida that regulates these types of events. Once an inspection has been done, they must have a new inspection every 10 years. Now here's a very important fact. Any condo that meets the 30 or the 25-year time frame must have their first inspection done by December 31st, 2024. if you think about it logically, how are all these condos going to be inspected? I have an idea there's probably going to be some type of reprieve on that date, but right now that's what it's set for. Now, who's going to make sure that these condos are inspected? It's probably going to default to the local building departments in whatever county or city that these condo complexes fall under. So they'll be the ones that have to keep up with all the data and the inspections and the time frames. So the architect or the engineer is going to have to furnish a full report and a summary report to the governing body and the association board. The association board will provide a copy of the summary report to all unit owners and tenants. And the summary also has to be posted on the condo property website. For condos that are over 150 units built after 2019, they must have the summary uploaded to their website and the full report. What happens if they find something and repairs are required? So if repairs are required, they must be completed within 365 days, and the professional must attest that the building is safe to occupy. Another 180-day extension is allowed if repairs are not made within first year. So just to repeat, a structural integrity reserve study must be completed by December 31st, 2024 for all condos 3 stories and over. Now here's where I think we're going to run into some issues. The association must pay for these studies, which means it goes to the unit owners. So depending on the size of the complex, depending on the age of the complex, those studies could be costly. So all of these unit owners are going to be the ones that are going to be bearing these costs. So let's talk about when a seller wants to sell their property. The sellers are going to be required to provide 2 additional documents other than the standard documents that we have to provide when selling a condo, such as the budget, the reserves, all of the condo rules and regulations. So amongst those, we're also going to have to include this milestone report and the reserve study. Now, if these contract documents are not provided to the buyers at the time of contract, the buyer can cancel the contract and has 3 days to review those documents. So this is where I see a problem coming about. We have a lot of condos here in Florida. A lot of them are 30 years and older. A lot of these people that own these condos, some of them could be on a fixed income. Some of them could be where they can't take on additional payments. So the condos, let's just say that there's a condo that's 30 years old and they have to get these documents done, they have to get the milestones created, they have to have the visual inspection, and if the visual inspection finds up, and then they have to have repairs done, that could be quite costly for the condo unit owners. So we need to keep those things in mind when somebody is considering a condominium complex. How well are they funded, and how are these funds going to come about if the condo does need some very important repairs? And I understand why the state of Florida is doing this, because that was such a tragedy in Miami when those condos collapsed and killed all of those people. But something had to be done about it. They're going to say, okay, we're going to have inspections, and this is how they're addressing that. So like I said, I'm going to put a copy of this entire document in the description below so that you can get it and freshen up on it. And if you have any comments, don't hesitate to leave comments down in the description below and the comment section below, and we'll try and address those as they come about. I hope you found this valuable and very helpful if you had been considering a condo. Maybe you're going to look for a condo that's a little bit newer. So if you think about it from a condominium standpoint, the condos that are being built now are already going to include those reserve studies in their budget. So they've got a long time to accumulate those funds to be able to hold aside to do that. It's the condominiums right now that are probably 20, 25, and 30 years old that are going to have a much more difficult time acquiring those funds in a rapid time frame so that they can get these laws met. If you found value out of this video, just click that little subscribe button, ding the little bell. Every time I put on a new video, you'll be notified. Mark Boehmig, Michael Saunders and Company.